Welcome to the Facial Recognition Podcast. I'm Brian Simpson.
I'm Pallavi. I'm excited to have you here. We're doing a one-on-one podcast today, just because I thought it might be more fun to dive deeper into things. Brian, you are a comedian.
Yeah.
You got passed at the Comedy Store. You've been all over. You've been in the game for a while, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing comedy?
Going on 10 years.
Dang. How do you feel about everything that's happening right now? How do you think it's going to change comedy?
I have no idea, man. I mean, obviously things aren't going to go back to exactly how they were.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I mean, there's still going to be funny shit though. There's always going to be something funny in whatever's happening. So I don't know what the business is going to be,
How
but
are you?
Comedy's going to be fun.
How are you keeping sane during this time?
I'm good.
Yeah?
You know what I mean? Yeah. I've had way worse shit happen to me to have to stay in the house.
Oh yeah? You were
I mean, look, I'm not saying
right?
like as this keeps going longer, you know what I mean? It might get a little worse, but I mean for now I'm good. For now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get a little stir crazy from here and there, but I'm not like losing my mind. Not yet anyway.
And you live with friends, right? Other comedians.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you specifically because you and I call each other and we're very real about our feelings about everything. And I like talking to you about stuff because you have an interesting perspective that still kind of aligns with my view of the reality of the situation, You and I both, I think, speak from a kind of a facts-based background. And so I feel like it's easy to talk to you about your perspective on things.
Yeah, I'm a little emotional about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get in my feelings a little bit, man. Like I woke up this morning and I was thinking about the governors that are opening back up, and I don't see none of them going out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If this your big resolution to open up the economy, is why your ass not at Pizza Hut with a photo op,
Yeah.
You still getting tested. Yeah, these motherfuckers, they stand in the house getting tested every day. They scared to death, but they telling everybody else to go back to work.
I mean, I feel like the hypocrisy has always been or especially I guess more now than ever has been pretty obvious.
Yeah,
but
until we see Gavin Newsom at a bowling alley, if we don't see him at a bowling alley in the next 2 weeks, we need to fucking ride in the streets.
We should invite him to our birthday parties.
Yeah. Talking about go back to work. I hate that shit so much.
I know. I don't think I'm going to go out for a while. I'm still going to try and work from home for as long as possible. Just because I think that I have a feeling there's going to be a second wave, especially if if we open up without a vaccine.
Oh, I mean, what's so crazy is that the states that were the last to shut down was the first to open back up.
Yeah. Georgia was opening back up and then they had a spike in cases, right?
Yeah, I mean, I only heard about that day.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows, man? Because it's I don't want to go so far as to wish bad on people, Because
people are all these people around Trump have corona, fingers crossed, and it's that's, I don't know, it's not really gonna help if the policies are still enacted,
Yeah, man, no, because see, that's a foolish way of thinking, just because then he'd be a martyr, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I don't want nothing to happen to that motherfucker. I just want him to finish his term and get up out of there. You know what I mean? Because I don't want the movement to live on.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way too. I don't know,
oh my God.
I feel like the movement has almost like gotten stronger during Corona, like just anecdotally has gotten stronger during Corona because of the protests and everything. It's like, it's wild.
Yeah, man. I can't even, the thing with Ahmaud getting shot in Georgia, like,
yeah,
I see that shit made me shut down. Like I saw it and I ignored it for a whole day. I saw it trending on Twitter and I was like, I already know what this is. I can't right now. I just can't.
Yeah.
You know, and I still can't stop. I can't stop thinking about that shit.
Yeah, I generally like, I don't watch like videos and stuff like that. I don't like seeing people die, and I like, for some reason I like clicked on it without thinking because I didn't think that it was possible they had captured it on video. Like I didn't actually think I was going to see what I saw, and I wish I hadn't done that. Like it was just absent-minded of me to even click on it, and it was awful. And it's like infuriating that those men weren't arrested for the people who killed Ahmaud Arbery weren't arrested for 2 months or 10 weeks. 10 weeks because one was a former cop or something and had connections to like the DA and stuff, and they were just these murderers that weren't even arrested.
Bro, two district attorneys. They had to go to. They on their third district attorney. One of them had to what do you call it? Recuse herself because, but she was the initial one that told the cops not to arrest him. Then she recused herself.
How is she? Is she getting investigated? These people have to be investigated.
Her name. I'll tell you her name too. Hold on. Oh, did I close that?
It's just like, I don't know. It's so tragic. And like
her name is Jackie Johnson.
Jackie Johnson.
Yeah, so Jackie Johnson had to recuse herself because one of those guys used to work in her office, and then George Barnhill had to recuse himself because his son worked with that guy. So then his son, also named George Barnhill, he works in the same office that McMichael used to. So he had to recuse himself.
Okay, yeah. So it was a father and a son who shot Ahmaud Arbery in cold blood. There was a video of one truck pulling up as another truck was, the people in the truck like walked out as Ahmaud was jogging and shot him. And I don't know if they've caught the people in the other truck because it looks like he was hunted, like between both trucks, right? Or both cars or whatever. For the video.
Man, I only saw one video.
I saw one video from one car. It was awful. It showed the whole thing of the people in the front truck getting out and going after him. The poor guy like tried to run around the truck, and he just couldn't. He was just jogging. It was so sad. I'm realizing I haven't processed this until right now, and I'm starting to get emotional right now. But then weren't there two more shootings of unarmed black men like in the last day or two?
Yeah, there was, I think that shit happens every day, honestly.
I know, but ones that like actually got news. I think there was like one more. I actually was looking, someone tweeted at me you know how they make jokes about, oh, like we're inside, so at least mass shootings have gone down this year. You know, March, it was the first month in a long time where there hadn't been a mass shooting in the US. And I looked at the shootings, the police, oops, my dog's barking, one sec. Sorry, hold on, we'll cut this part out. But I was looking at, I'm watching my neighbor's dog, and she barks a lot.
What did you do to the dog?
I didn't do anything. My roommate got her, and calmed her down. So my neighbor left for Hawaii in March, and I was watching his dog, and so she barks a lot at everything because she lived on the streets for like a year and a half. Her first year or something was on the streets, so she barks at everything. But yeah, I was looking at the police shooting statistics, and it was really down for a lot of 2020 because we were inside, so they couldn't shoot people basically. But now, like, as things are reopening up, we have all these cops killing people again.
No, you want to hear some disturbing shit?
Oh God.
So I listen to the 911 calls, right? So there's an audio.
Oh no.
3 people called 911, but you can hear the father is calling 911 while they're pulling up on them or something, because you at the end of the 911 call, you can hear the father saying, "Travis, stop." Like his father was trying to, so for them to act like they were acting, in good faith, or like a citizen's arrest, is crazy, because you can hear the father trying to calm his son down. You know what I mean?
So did the son shoot him or did the father shoot?
No, the son shot him. The father was standing. The father was standing in the truck.
Okay, yeah, I saw one person get out.
At least that's how I understand it. The father, because the son wasn't like no little kid.
No, it's a grown adult.
Yeah.
So okay, I see. So he knew he was trying to calm him down because he knew he was going to do it.
I mean, it's hard to say that for sure because I don't have I didn't like trace the timestamps and all that. Like but
yeah,
that's what it sounded like to me. If you listen to the very end of that call, because it's 3. The audio I found, it was 3 911 calls. It was like two neighbors calling 911 and then them calling 911. Yeah.
There was also the other one I was talking about was Sean Reed, who was shot on Facebook Live by cops that you can hear laughing about him dying in the background. Like,
I didn't
apparently.
hear about
that. He was on Facebook Live, young, unarmed kid. I don't know exactly how old, but he looks really young. And the officers claimed there was an exchange of gunfire, but in the video clips, there was no evidence that he had or fired a gun. And after he's been shot, I guess I'm reading this, so I hadn't watched the video itself, but people are captioning it, "That's going to be a closed casket, homie," by one of the cops who said that, as he's like dying, I guess. I don't know. It's like, it's so sad. And it's like, I just feel like, what can we do? What do you think we can do for these situations? Because it just seems like until, even with video, like nothing happens until, there's public outrage. So it's just like every time we have to be outraged like that.
Honestly, I mean, I think the thing to do has always been obvious, but not preferable, because most people don't want to give up their comfort.
What's the obvious thing?
Well, the obvious thing is like we'd have to like start America from scratch.
Yeah, we'd have to like get rid of the prison industrial complex, get rid of cops.
The whole capitalist system is set up to have other people that we care less about that do all the shit that we don't want to do so we can live well. That's how capitalism works. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah,
we would have to completely start over because it's set up to be racist. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
the system is racist. It produces those kind of people that think like black people are a threat, or that a black person has to stop when they say halt, because
that's crazy to me. That
white
people are just like, you have to listen to what I'm saying, even though I'm no authority figure, just because I'm telling you to stop jogging. Like,
because I think you fit the description of what the fuck you talking about. Like, it reminds me, look, there was a video last year or sometime, I think I talked about it on my podcast, but it was like a lady, she stopped a man outside his apartment building. and like wouldn't let him in the building. You know what I mean? It was this whole thing. Yeah, and then
I saw another video of like an Airbnb of that happening inside the Airbnb like apartment.
Yeah, that happened to me when I moved here.
And then what happened in the video you were describing?
That guy had she wouldn't let him in the building because she didn't believe that he lived there. And then he pushed past her, and she followed him to his apartment and waited until he put his key in the lock, and then tried to like act like she wasn't just rude as fuck to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's wild to me. If I could just tell white people to stop, I would make them stop everything. Like, if it worked the other way, I think part of me thinks that reopening would be okay if they just didn't let white people out, because they're the ones protesting. They're the ones shooting people. Like,
yeah, but which white people?
Where
you
we
want
start
all the
over
white people
America.
to stay home?
Yeah, we gotta. What was Trump's quote? Until we figure this out, we just have to stop everything.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think about the jobs that only white people do that we probably need.
What jobs do only white people do? Fox News? That'll shut down.
X Games? No, that's not really exclusive.
X Games? What else?
Senator.
Yeah. Senator. But then we just have spots to fill. Like, that's how we restart America from scratch. We allow people to go out, but only people of color. Black people get to go out first, claim what they want. And then we have like a racial hierarchy. We fucked up.
I like how everybody just assumed that congressman is like an essential job.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't done anything in general, right? That's the whole joke.
But it's true. It's crazy because I think like as a kid when you first hear about Congress, you think all these wonderful things are happening. Like the way, I don't know if you were shown that, I think it was called Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah.
But it's like a video of
just
like
a bill.
Right,
Yeah.
just a bill, right. So after I watched that video, I thought all sorts of magical shit happens in Congress. And it was like they mostly don't do shit.
They mostly campaign for their jobs, right? Like that's the recurring like issue is that they are spending a lot of time. That's where their, power corrupts or whatever, is because they're just trying to stay in power and earn that salary, which is crazy because like how much do they earn per year? What's the average pay for a congressman? I'm gonna look this up. I feel like they could have just like gone to grad school and got as much.
I think it's $250,000.
Yeah, but that's like engineers. Oh no, it's 174,000. Engineers earn that much. They could just be engineers. Like they don't have to be Congress people and they don't have to campaign. They could just go get a job, work their way up in like industry. They could work in tech. They could learn how to code, and then they wouldn't have to worry about being in the public eye and like.
What's crazy about what I'm seeing here is that senators and representatives get the same salary.
Yeah. It's 174K according to Wikipedia.
Aren't senators supposed to be more important and more wealthy and all that?
I guess not. That's democracy for you.
They all billionaires. This salary they don't even care about. This throwaway money.
Yeah, it's like all the free stuff they get, all the other stuff they get paid for.
It's so shocking to me how cheap it is to buy a congressperson.
Yeah, it's like you could probably. Like they should just be on Cameo at that point, at that rate.
Yeah, like when you hear, I don't know if I've seen it a few years back, like somebody made a list of like, I guess people still do it every year, but make a list of like who, which congressman got how much money from which company and then which way they voted on certain bills,
Yeah.
And you expect you hear like, Apple donated to some congressman or Amazon or whatever. And you see how much it is and it's like, $5,000. You're like, what? That's it?
That's how much they sold their souls for.
Yeah, it's like, Bill Gates gave you $10,000. That's all he gave you.
Yeah. Then you feel like less bad for doing an accent in a movie. Like, it's like we're not selling out as hard as Congress is.
Yeah, they selling out for cheap. They cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we're doomed.
I said, like, I had a joke where I said that, like, the women's march and everything, great idea or whatever, but like all of the money we spent on markers and poster board and glitter, we could have just bought Congress for. Like, if we just pulled it, all those trips to Michael's, we could have just bought them.
True.
I wonder, but I feel like do you think if we put together a GoFundMe and we just tried to buy a congressman to vote a certain way on a bill that they would do it? Or do you think it would be like bad publicity or something for them?
I don't know, man. I don't even know how it works. I don't know if we'd be able to raise enough. I don't know. Yeah. I think let's go for it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's make a GoFundMe to buy Congress one by one.
Let's straight up try to bribe a congressperson.
I feel like we could match Apple. I feel like we could do that.
We would just have to sell like 20,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies or something.
Yeah. I feel like we could do that. We could do enough Zoom charity shows.
Yeah. And we can have, am I doing what?
Are you doing Zoom shows?
No.
No.
No, it's not my bag, man. You know, but I'm not shitting on the people that do them. I mean, whatever you gotta do to get through it, but like they just don't do it for me.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't satisfy me in the same way as like the stage does at all. But it's a different type of creative outlet. I kind of look at it as like sketch or like a podcast kind of. But it sometimes they pay, which is nice. So I'll take that money.
Yeah. I mean, look, ain't no shame in my game. You know what I mean? If I needed the money, I would do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. I did every manner of shows I didn't want to do back in the day.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to also talk to you. You served, right?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Where, and can you like describe it a little bit? Like where and when?
Oh.
Where and when did you serve? Like your background, I guess.
I served from 2001 to 2006.
In what branch?
In the Marine Corps. I was stationed in San Diego, and man, I got so lucky.
Did you go to Madhouse shows while you were there?
No, the Madhouse didn't exist.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know how old it was.
Yeah, Madhouse didn't exist. At least definitely not in 2001. Mm-hmm. I think the Madhouse came about in like the first one was in like 2008 or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
What made you get into the Marine Corps?
It was a combination of things, but it was mostly out of spite.
Oh, we've talked about this, how you and I are often motivated by spite. What what was the spite situation? Who were you spiteful at?
I was just, I was in the system. I was a kid. I was in the system as a kid. I was a foster kid, and I just got tired of being, and it was like it was what they did not want me to do, so I did it. You know what I mean?
Wait, who didn't want you to join up?
My social worker.
Oh, interesting.
Because he was like, look, because I was about to turn 18, and he was like, look, you're because the state of Maryland, at least the foster care there, they'll pay for your college for like till you like, I think they'll pay for your school. They'll pay for you to go to school until you're like 21.
Oh wow.
Or 22 or something like that. Nah, shit. In California, they'll pay for your school forever. Anytime if you go to a state school. But anyway, the point is, they'll pay for your school till you're 21. But so he was like, don't join the military, and because you could just go to school, and then you can join. You get the free 3 years of school. You can join the military and finish your. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
That whole time you're in school, they're still like over you. You know what I mean? They control your money. They control. They gotta assign somebody to take you shopping and all. And I just I was just over it, man. I just wanted to get me up out of there.
Did you feel good with that decision?
You mean like at the time or in hindsight?
In hindsight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wanted. Do you have an example of a time where spite? Because you and I talk about how like spite has often made us more successful. Because people are always like, "Don't be spiteful. Do things because you want to do it for you." But sometimes we're like, sometimes the anger just drives us in a different way, and it just makes us work harder, right? So, has there ever been a time where spite has bit you in the back? Like has it come back to bite you?
No, because you know what it is. I don't get out of control with it. You know what I mean? It's a very focused spite. You know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna like flip out and kill nobody or. I'm not gonna make some kind of huge mistake in room. Yeah, because for me, like the best revenge is just to get away with it. You can't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
my problem is I have loose lips. Like I talk shit too much, and then that bites me in the ass. Like I let my feelings be known, and then that always gets back to bite me.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I mean, some people deserve it. Some of it's you. Some of it people deserve it. You know.
Yeah. Has there ever been like? I know you want to get away with it, but was there something ever that's like a funny story of like spite making you successful? Something like petty that pushed you to do something?
Yeah, something I can talk about.
Yeah, I don't want to blow up your spite game, but like.
Damn. Let me see. Off the top of my head, I was just thinking about this the other day too.
I feel like for me, like one thing that came to mind is like in comedy, sometimes I'll like somebody will say something that really bothers me, and then I'll just like there was one time I got really mad at this guy for like separate reasons, and then I just like applied to all these festivals and I like did all this work, and then I like got into a bunch of them later. But I like the reason that I just like sat down and worked, I almost like blacked out from anger. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna apply to everything. And I like forgot that I applied to some things, and then I got into them. It was fun.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess damn, I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, well if you think of something later.
I will. I'll bring it up.
What else has been
Good
going
story.
on? I was late to this podcast because I have really bad discipline with like working out and eating well, and I've been especially struggling with this in quarantine. So I messaged my friend who she's just super hot, and she does like workout classes all the time, and she's like, really put together, like especially with her fitness and everything. And so I like called her last night, and I was like, yo, I need an intervention. Like I need someone to help guide me. Like, what do I do? And she was like, okay, just take it day by day. And she gave me all this advice. And then she was like, come to my fitness class. And then it was actually, we had her on the podcast one day. I wasn't here, Leah Lamar. And she has these fitness classes that she does tomorrow at 1 p.m. and like Tuesday and Thursdays, I think. But she was like, go on a walk tomorrow, go on a 45-minute walk, start there. And so then I had to go on a walk before this podcast and I did like 42 minutes or something because I was running late, but I had to message her a picture of me to prove that I went on this walk. I have like a sponsor for like being healthy.
She's like your accountability buddy or something.
Yeah, but it's like the bar is so low. It literally is like, just go outside and just like go on a walk. That's it. She was like, that's all she asked me to do today. And it helped. I felt like better after it. But yeah, I don't know. How are you keeping healthy and stuff?
It's the same stuff I always do. I go for walks at night. I go late at night. I'll go like 1 a.m.
Oh, that's nice. I wish I felt safe then. Because it is a lot cooler. I mean, it's just so, like, it's so hot in my apartment. I, like, went just now, and it was like crisp and nice. It was great.
Yeah, I always feel safe. But I just don't want to run it because no one's out at that time of night.
Yeah.
So because whenever I have to like leave the house during the day or I walk somewhere, it just there's always people that don't like do the social distancing, or they got or they be in the store with no mask on and shit. And it's like I get so aggravated that I just feel like I can't be out here during the day.
You get like more anxiety from exercising than not.
Well, it's just that it makes me hate the people it makes me hate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I walk in the store, somebody's in there without a mask. When this first happened, like when they first mandated, like that day where they said everyone has to wear masks to this, if you go into a business, like that day I had to go to the vet. I had to go to the pet store. So I went to the pet store, and it's right next to this CVS. So I needed to buy hand sanitizer and shit. So I went. Obviously, they were out, but I went into CVS, and there were probably 30 people in the CVS, the most crowded CVS I ever seen, and everyone had a mask on except this one lady.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? And I can't explain it. The smugness with which she didn't have on a mask, it just made me so fucking angry, and I was like, I can't.
I feel like you and I get angry in the same way, but I feel like I'm less controlled than you are, because I feel like you appear to be a pretty peaceful guy, and like you don't seem to have like many beefs and stuff. And I was literally making a list of all the friends that are mad at me because I said shit to them about them doing dumb shit or saying dumb shit about Corona. Like I lost a bunch of friends because they were like still going to open mics like way past when they should have, or they were saying like very ignorant things publicly. And I just spoke up, and I like lost all these friends. But I feel like you and I have the same like rage like inside, but like yours is so much better controlled than mine. How do you handle it?
Because I wouldn't lose those friends because I would just not have those friends to begin with.
But you don't think you have people in comedy that are idiots about this? I know so many people, but then how do you?
But they're not my friends.
Okay, I
mean,
guess.
Let me rephrase that. A person that I would stop being friends with over that isn't my friend.
Yeah, I guess I use the term friend more loosely.
Yeah, I mean, it's levels of friend shit, that's like.
Yeah. But how do you not get people mad at you? I get people mad at me all the time because I'm like, hey, stop saying that. That's wrong.
Oh, because I don't do that.
Yeah, but how do you not? I can't control myself from not doing that because I'm like, you're spreading misinformation. This is like hurting people. How do you, I can't control your rage is much better controlled than mine. I can't. I'm just like, I just spew. I talk shit. I yell at people. How do you stay zen when you're mad?
Because I realized like that there's no point to it. Like if I thought I could change somebody's mind, I would do that. But 99% of the time, it's just gonna end up with you being frustrated and then being upset. You're not gonna change their mind. I don't know what the way is. I have seen people change their mind though. But,
yeah. Like I did talk to people, and I had a handful of people out of all of the people that I talked to, or a few people like stopped doing shows and like listened to me about it's not even listening to me. It's just like looking at the facts of the situation, like looking at the correct sources. Like they started looking at the right sources and started believing it wasn't just the flu. But then there were so many others that like somebody stopped talking to me and got mad at me and like unfollowed me on everything. And I was just like, and I did the same thing with that person. I like sent them the correct information and I was like, I'm here as a resource. And then they just like got mad at me, I guess because it was like in a group chat and they were embarrassed or something. But I don't know. what approach do you use in the cases where you do feel like you need to convince someone, or do you not do that at all?
I mean, I'll just lay out the facts one good time, and if they don't agree, I just move on.
And then but that changes how you look at that person, right? Then you're like, oh, this person is like no longer.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, because very, very, very seldomly do people surprise me. You know what I mean? Like usually when I see a certain viewpoint, I'm not usually shocked by who it is. You know?
Really? Do you is that just based on like these people from this like background or whatever are more likely to believe this thing, or is it just like having heard them like talk about other things? You're like, oh,
right, just having heard them talk about other things, or having them have a certain take on things. You know, it is. I guess maybe it's from like just seeing people's comedy so much that you kind of like, oh, of course, that's exactly something that you would say. So that would be your take on it.
You think people are pretty directly? There are people that I think are, I guess there are definitely people who like aren't joking when they're on stage, but it is funny. Like,
yeah, or some, that's true. I mean, to me, I'm just so afraid to get distracted out here that I'm kind of hyper vigilant about not diving head first into any drama or anything that could distract me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you are good at like setting your boundaries and stuff. I've noticed that like if somebody like is pushing you, you're pretty good at being like, no, like back off.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but yeah, I mean, I have a line just like everybody else when it's like, all right, that's enough, you know?
Yeah.
but it doesn't happen that often because, you know, I try to stay out of certain situations. You know, I just try to learn. I try to learn like how far I need to keep people for me to not hate them.
To not hate them? Yeah. That's so funny. So you need to learn to put up boundaries in order to like see the beauty in the world.
Right.
If you like get to know something too closely, it'll burn you.
Because I used to hold on, and still for some certain people I do hold on, but I used to just hold on to all these grudges and all this resentment and stuff, you know, and now I'm just like, I'm just not gonna give it any power unless it's absolutely necessary. You know?
Yeah. I definitely I feel like I'm in that stage where I'm trying to like figure out how to loosen the fuck up and just like not invest so much in other people's decisions and what other people are saying, because it really does rile me up. And so I'm like, why am I so mad at my friend for doing this or for doing that? Like, and I think part of it is that I just can't yell at an audience right now. Like, I'm just not getting my like anger out on stage or whatever. So I don't have that as like a coping mechanism to like analyze my frustrations. And part of it is like, I'm honestly like genuinely surprised I have the energy to hold these grudges. I feel so old in so many ways. I'm really surprised I have any energy to be mad at people.
Yeah, I don't. I'm just out of it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I spent the first 7 years of stand-up comedy with severe sleep apnea and none of those machines. I was basically a zombie for that whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just running on fumes for like a long ass. So I just never had the energy for no bullshit. So I tap danced around that shit.
Yeah. And that's what gave you like the skills to continue doing that.
Yeah, I think so. I bob and weave. I bob and weave. I try to stay through. You know, don't get me wrong. Like sometimes I get caught up in shit because it's just natural. It's enticing, you know. But...
Yeah. There was one time you stood up for me at the Comedy Store that sticks out in my mind when someone was like mad at me about something that didn't actually happen, and they were like throwing cups of ice at us because we were sitting there talking, and they were like kicking like empty cups of ice like at in our direction, and you were like right there, and you had no idea what was going on, and I was like, oh, this person's mad at me for these like weird reasons, and then you were like it was a woman, and you like still threatened her, but because she wouldn't stop, but like you did it in a way where she you did it once, and then she did it again, and you were like, no. You were like, I will slap this shit out of you, and then she stopped, and I was like, damn, that's like to have that power with words before it escalates. It was great.
Yeah. See, I was just fed up with that lady because I didn't find out what that was about really,
until after. Yeah.
Until after. At the time, I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with this woman?
Yeah. And then when I told you, you were like, I don't care. I didn't have anything to do with it. Why is she trying to hit me? Like,
yeah, but it's for precisely that reason that I stay out of shit, because I don't need that kind of shit. Like I try to that is one of my personal nightmares, is having some crazy person.
You really can't control how people act, and there are so many crazy people in comedy. There's so many.
Yeah, because this town draws it, because everyone that comes to Hollywood, it draws in the people that are talented, and it draws in the people that think they are.
Yeah.
And then it draws in like this certain brand of crazy person.
Yeah.
That is, it's like they're just narcissistic enough, or just, bipolar enough, or something like untreated, that's just enough to where they can like live a regular life and still come out at night and be nuts.
Yeah, I think it's hard because there's so many of them where it's like, for me, especially when I was starting, it was like a gamble. It's like, is this person as good as they say they are, or are they crazy? And you like don't find out until it's too late, until you're like, oh no, how do we get out of this situation?
Yeah. I mean, I kick it with my people that I know, that I trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody else I touch bases with, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting down into the circles.
Yeah, I think I'm like starting to feel like more comfortable, and it took a year and a half or 2 years for me to like kind of evaluate where people were at, and like to keep that distance. But it's funny now, because now out of my friend group, I'm like the least friendly one. I'm the one that we're like, people will go down the row like hugging my friends, and then they'll get to me and I'll be like, and then they'll like turn and leave because I don't want to hug them, and they can sense it.
Wow. So why are you standing in the hug line?
I'm just standing with my friends, and then they come through like at the Improv or something, and they're like, say hi to everybody, and I'm like, I know some shit about that person, and I don't like that person. I'm like better at setting chilly boundaries just from my demeanor than my friends are. Like sometimes my friends will like hug a person and then be like, I fucking hate that person, and I can't be that. I can't project that, I can't be like friendly like that when I don't, which I think is often smarter in this business, because otherwise you like, if people really know how you feel, like you're burning all these bridges. But I just can't do that. So like people will come to my friends who they like, and I'll just be like, and like not interact with, and they'll like literally turn and walk away. And I'm not trying to be a bitch, but I can't, like, if I know like a guy has assaulted someone, right, and they don't know that I know, and I can't tell them, right, because it'll like out the victim or something like that. Or if I know that somebody stole something comedically or stabbed somebody in the back or something, and I can't let them know why I'm mad at them, because it starts more drama, but I also can't just like hide my feelings about them. Then they're just like, okay, cool, see ya. Like, and I'm in this weird situation where I can't like hide my feelings, but I also, can't say anything.
Yeah, I've been in that situation a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just give them the head nod. What up? I keep it pushing.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
But I like,
Yeah,
I set that boundary. I like don't engage with them as much as my friends do. I'm just like, okay. And I just like move on. I'm pretty good at like keeping that boundary now. But it's only because I got burned. I got burned as a young bird in comedy.
Yeah, I think it happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very predatory place, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is one of the few places where show business is one of the, actually, I guess it's every business. It's like if you're a ruthless motherfucker, you can succeed.
Yeah, you can really get ahead if you have no soul.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's the dirty little secret in the industry, right? It's like as for as much talk about diversity and stuff, it's like you can still be a scumbag and make it.
yeah, it's like way easier because you don't have any more. It's like the reason the Democrats or like people, the leftists are like losing is because we actually have like morals where we're trying not to like hurt other people, right? So like that actually ends up holding you back from your goals.
I wish we didn't. I wish we didn't. I wish they would put me in charge of the left for a day.
And you just be like ruthless to getting people rights.
Yeah, bro. Because look. That I was just thinking about this earlier, but it's like Democrats are Batman, or leftists are Batman, and the right is the Joker. Yeah, and you know, it's like Batman knows all these different martial arts and all this other shit, but you know why Joker always keep pace with him?
He's willing to kill people.
Exactly.
Yep.
But more importantly, he knows that Batman isn't.
Yep.
And he uses that against him.
Yep, that's exactly.
And that's the problem with these Democrats is they're pussies, and the Republicans know it, and they back down every single time. They can't. They hold each other to like this weird purity test, and that, you know. And I'm not saying whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but
yeah. Well, it's like
the truth is you win. The evil people win. That's how the system is set up. You can
but that's like in Hollywood, right? Like I could go around being like fake to everybody. I could just have no morals. I could sell people out to get spots or something. But it's like, do I really, as an individual, do I really want to be that person? Do I feel good about it? It's like, no. Like I don't feel good about getting things in a way that, you know, goes against my moral compass or whatever. So it's like I'd rather not have it than like have it or like be successful and like be a terrible person. But with the Democrats or with the left, like however you want to call it, I guess they're two separate things. But like with the people who have like similar values to you and me, it's like they're not only fighting for them as individuals, they're fighting for like groups of people. So it's like, it's like the trolley question. Like, would it be okay if we sacrifice their souls for the good of the people? Like, would that be all right?
The trolley question, what you mean?
There's the in philosophy, there's like the trolley question where it's like you're on a track. I can't remember if it's like you're on a track and you're about to hit either a person or a group of persons. And so
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've heard this. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can switch. You can choose to switch, and then you hit somebody else, right? So it's like do nothing and allow the trolley to kill 5 people, or switch the track and allow it to kill like 1 or something like that.
Right. And then did you murder that one person or yeah?
Because you made a choice. It's like if you move, then you made a choice, whereas you're just like letting fate take the wheel for the 5 people. But it's like you know that they're gonna die, right? So what do you do?
Right. And then but then I think I watched a professor or somebody giving that example, and the people the firmly I would kill the one person people, he was like, okay, now what if that one person is a child?
Yeah.
It's like
or like related to you, or like what, you know, like all of the different like levels to it.
Yeah, that's a dilemma. Because
Truly.
the real question is, what would you do under pressure? Like you got 5 seconds to decide who died.
I think that's where people's like characters come out, is like when you're
That's
under
really who
pressure.
you are. See, that's my big problem with nowadays is, and this is not, I guess it's not their fault, but people that were raised on social media, they really put a lot of value in what is said more than my generation. You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
Like, so, because it's like, I feel like younger people now, they think you are what you say you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you say you're something, that's what you are. And my generation don't. It's like, no, you are what I see you. What I see that you are. You are what I see you do. You know what I mean? It's like you don't get to just say what you are.
So I think people equate what you say as part of like what you do, right? And I think part of that reason comes out of like, for the Ahmaud case, for example, like there was public outrage, people got mad, and then finally something happened. So in some cases, like online activism, whatever works, but they were also like protesting in the streets and stuff. But also it's also like standing up, like basically not being silent about something, right?
I'm sorry, let me cut you off.
What I think, like I'm just thinking about my parents. You're obviously not as old as my parents, but like I'm thinking about my parents' generation, where to them it was like really about appearances. And our generation came in and like fucked that up. We're like, no, you got to say something at Thanksgiving dinner. You got to say something. You got to like make sure they don't think it's okay, right? But then on the other hand, yeah, I guess like, you know, we're behind our computers maybe more. I don't know.
But that's just my point. I think in a whole other way, that's also about appearances. It's just another way.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know, because
I see.
Because that's what I'm saying is like, I think like to the younger people now, your online person is a real extension of you.
Yeah, for sure.
And to my generation, it's like that shit isn't even real. You know what I mean? It's like who I am on Instagram is. I mean, some of it is truly who I am, but I don't take it seriously. Not really. You know what I mean? And so that's where a lot of times the communication breaks down between
generations.
Because they can't. You know, it's impossible when you can't make something as important to you as it is to other people. It's impossible to like bridge that gap. You know, that's why you're not speaking to so many of your friends, because you're like, how can this not matter to you?
Yeah,
you know?
It's like it's definitely like what do you value, and then also I think a big thing is like what is reality. I think I'm losing a lot of friends because of the misinformation that's out there, and it's like if I can't even speak to you on what is actually happening, like we can't even form an opinion above that. You know what I mean? Like there's like I can't talk to you in crazy land, because then what does any opinion matter? You know?
Yeah.
But I think
I haven't lost a single friend though.
Yeah, but you don't stir shit up like I do.
No.
But I also think that like part of the reason that we feel, and I'm not even that, I'm just a few years younger than you. Part of the reason that I kind of feel like my online self is an extension, not fully who I am, but it's an extension of me, is because just the amount of time I spend online. Like I spend most of my day online, like talking to people through Twitter or Instagram, or, you know, like, and that's how I connected with people. I even remember in like high school, like the way I got to know my crush was through chat, right? The way that I got to develop closer friendships was through chatting with them when we were online at home. So it's like, it feels like an extension of myself, because that's where most of my time goes, you know? And that's like how I get a lot of my social interaction, even when we're not in quarantine. Like we're out at shows and everything, and that's, you know, awesome, but we're like still on our phones a lot. So that's why it feels so real.
Damn.
What?
You just made me think about I just had an idea, like what if you Like, okay, so people back there, there's like trolls online, right? Like people that actually,
Yeah.
like, they actually enjoy fucking with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some to the extreme, but they were like, they've swatted people, you know, when they'll like send the cops to your house.
Yeah.
But I was thinking some of those, there's got to be at least one of those people that's both sides. That's they're they're the person and they're the person being trolled.
They're
Just
just
to
talking to
start.
themselves. They're like
Yeah.
they're like the mom's account and the baby's account, and the baby will like talk to the mom and comment on the mom's pictures and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Have you
I
seen
know.
those?
Oh yeah, I know. There's people. I'm 100% sure there's multiple thousands of millions of accounts online that are the same person that have
Yeah.
literally that have argued with themselves in a thread or something.
It's really, it's pretty sad. I literally know that I'm arguing online when I'm bored. Like that, I like know that it's because I'm bored and I just want to like talk to somebody or something. Like it's like 5 a.m. My friends are asleep and I'm like, I don't mind like arguing back with this shitty reply guy or whatever. And then I'll like argue and then I'm like, okay, I'm done here. And then I'm like, I'm going to go to bed or whatever. But I feel like there are a lot of people who spend all of their time doing that because they don't have better things to do with their time, which is sad.
Years ago, I promised myself that I would not argue with people online. And every once in a blue moon, I'll get to going in the thread and be like, Brian, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah. I do that sometimes. Like I did like an argument for entertainment's sake, like recently, the first time out of a long time. But yeah, there was a while where I was too naive. I was like, oh, this person like genuinely doesn't know. I need to help educate them like about this thing. And then I would get in this like long argument with them and I'm like, oh shit, like they're stupid or like they are like being mean on purpose. Like I was too naive. So that's like a few years ago I was doing that. And then I was like, oh, I can't, like this wasted like 3 hours of my time. Like, what am I doing? This is ridiculous. This was such a waste of time. Yeah.
Especially now, you know what I think it is too? I think it's just that because I'm older now and all the people I meet are like around my age. And so I'm like, that's who you are now. Like, you ain't going to be no different.
I think I'm still naive about that. Like, I still want to be optimistic that people can change. Nah. Like, I still want to believe people can like learn and grow. Cause like, I don't want to be just this person. I want to be better than I am now.
When the last time you seen a motherfucker change?
I feel like my parents have actually like positively surprised me. They haven't like fully changed, but they've accepted a lot of things that I don't think they would have like 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So like that, like they honestly, like I have a complicated relationship with my parents, but like being able to like be more myself, like the fact that they accepted me doing comedy as a career. Like still my dad like posted recently, I'm working on a ventilator project, like volunteer engineering stuff. And he posted, he was like, she doesn't only do stand-up. So I was like, nah, Dad, come on. But like he really did say like all the right things when I told him I wanted to, quit my PhD and do stand-up. And that really surprised me because I think they would have just like lost their shit like 20 years ago. I don't think that they would have like had the forethought or the foresight to think about my happiness and in the same, like in my own definition of it rather than in theirs,
Yeah.
So like that gives me hope. Like my parents actually do give me hope on that front of like growing and learning as you get older.
I've never really run into that. My parents always, I mean, because it is because they know I'm so stubborn that I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my parents are like that too. Like they've had to accept that, but
yeah, it's just like look, I'm doing this, and it's up to you whether you're gonna stop speaking to me or whatever the fuck your punishment is for me not doing what you want. But I'm gonna do what I want. Yeah. Because I gotta live my own life. You know what I mean? You gotta live your own life.
Yeah, I definitely like I've been that way. I've been that problem kid or whatever since I was like as long as I can remember. So my parents have been like forced to accept things, but their reactions have changed rather than like, every time like being mad immediately. Like now
you're the problem kid with the master's degree.
Oh yeah, my brother is like fucking killing it. He just finished his MD PhD. He's like so calm. He's like engaged. He wants to have a family. Like he's perfect. Like and as a personality too, he's got a great personality. Is more into keeping the peace than I am. Is just a really good person. But I've been the one that's been like, I'm trying to like, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to do. Like, you can't tell me what to do.
So how does he keep the peace?
He's more of like a pacifist. He's like not as confrontational as I am. He can be pushed into like getting angry, but it takes, I think, a lot more than it does for me. And he's more willing to just like be calm and stay with the situation. He and I have like butted heads when I've been like, hey, you should have like spoken up for me or spoken up for like this group of people. And he's like, well, I feel more like just, you know, my choices and my actions say more than saying something about it. He's like, I think it's more important to be like a role model or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, like not saying anything when someone says something fucked up makes that person think that you're okay with it, which is why a lot of the men in the family say misogynist things to you about women, thinking that you'll be okay with it or what, you know what I mean? Like, so he's more of like the stay calm, don't confront people, and I'm more of the like, that's fucked up of you to say, like why would you say that, like person at the family reunion sort of thing. I'm like, because I also like, you know, they're younger cousins and I don't want to be like, oh, I'm totally fine with uncle saying something like awful and misogynist about women being dumber than men or what. Like I don't feel comfortable just being quiet about it, you know.
What you want, the older folks?
Yeah. So like whenever
not in my family.
Wait, what?
Not in my family. We don't correct the older folks in my family.
We're not supposed to, Brian. This is my problem, is we weren't ever supposed to. And I'm the one that does, since I was like fucking 12, I've been like, you shouldn't say that, uncle, that's wrong. Like I've been that voice in my family, and so in my extended family, I am like the confrontational one who's like, you shouldn't say that, that's sexist, that's racist, that's like whatever, at like family reunions and stuff. And they all just know that I'm gonna like come in guns blazing to these things because I can't not say anything. If my uncle is like, women are illogical, and I'm like, you're an idiot, like I can't just keep that inside.
Does it help? Like, what do you get out of these confrontations?
What I get out of it is that something is said so that they don't think that I agree with them, and that they know that their opinion is being challenged and that there's a different opinion in the family. And also partially because of my degrees, they like, even though it's like elitist or whatever, they like, I think because I'm a woman, like some of them just like don't take me seriously anyways, but sometimes they'll be like, my uncle literally was like, you're the exception to the rule, I don't know why you're mad, like about women being illogical. But sometimes they'll listen to me, but I think like the women in the family appreciate when I say something like that, or like the younger kids, if like people are saying racist stuff, or like the darker people in the family, I think they appreciate, like they've come to me later and been like, that often happens to me, even with this corona thing. Like in a group chat, somebody said something dumb and I stood up against it, and then like other people messaged me separately. So it often happens where like I am the most confrontational one, I am destroying my friendships or whatever, but then other people appreciate me saying something. So it's like, personally it causes me strife, but then sometimes I'm like, well, at least, you know, these people didn't feel bad, you know, even if they couldn't say anything. And I say it out of like, I don't even do it for them. I say it because I'm selfish and I'm like, I have to say something. Like, I don't even, like, that's a good benefit, but I like can't control myself when somebody says something like that's not true. And like the racist and sexist shit is not true, you know?
What about grammar? Do you correct people's grammar?
No, I think that's kind of like elitist to do that, because people haven't had access to all the different education, and some people make choices in like slang and stuff. So I think it's like, yeah.
Because that would be 1,000 times more insufferable.
If it was grammar. No, I just care about like morality and like also like misinformation that hurts people physically. So I rail against like astrology and stuff because I think that people like it's like illogical and it affects like the astrology stuff to me is the same as like flat earther or anti-vaxxer. It's just like anti-science, right? But people don't like to hear that.
No,
No.
because it's one of the things that makes people feel like they have control.
Yeah, I'm fine with people like if it brings them like comfort or whatever, but it's not science. Like it's not real. And if they think it is, I'm like, well then that's like you're like I don't want them to think that astrology is at all scientific. Is my thing. Because it's not.
I would love to go back to February and read all the horoscopes.
I'm sure we can. I'm sure it's online somewhere.
And see if any of them, if you could interpret any of them to even remotely predict the coronavirus.
It's like Geminis, murder hornets, and you're like, what?
No, just like you'll be closer to home for longer than you think, or some shit like that.
You may feel grounded, but your head is in the air. So, I don't know. We should start that GoFundMe to buy Congress back, and then also start our own horoscopes where we just fuck with people.
Yeah, I'm down to do that. Let's make up a whole new zodiac.
You want to do that? That would be fun.
Yeah.
What would the animals or whatever be? Where would we get them from? Would they be like Pisces or like fish, right?
Let's give it a little more thought. That's not the off the top of the head.
Yeah, we gotta put in work.
Yeah. It's gotta be. Yeah, we gotta put that one in the bank. Put that one in the bank.
All right. I think it should be animals that appear to have no dignity.
Like what?
Like, I don't think people take the platypus seriously.
Really? You know what? I mean, I can't argue with that, but at the same time, I never hear anyone bring it up at all. No one's ever been like, fuck platypi or whatever.
No, they're not like disrespected. They're just not taken seriously. Which I think, imagine being told your horoscope is a platypus and then it just like looks ridiculous, like a ridiculous version of it. I think that would be fun.
Has someone done this already? I feel like.
I'm sure they have. Everybody always wants to categorize people, like astrology, Harry Potter houses. You're always trying to group people so that you can find some like unity with somebody else.
Dude, I had the hardest time spelling platypus. Wow.
How did you spell it?
I don't know why they get so much shit. They're not that ugly.
They're not ugly. They're just, people just don't like people don't think that they're as like majestic as like a lion, right?
Well, they're definitely not fat either.
See?
But there's a platypus. Man, I just Googled the world's ugliest animals. I've seen way uglier shit. What is this? What is that called? Is that a cuttlefish? What is that?
World's ugliest. Okay, so we're going by ugly. What about silliest?
What is that? Okay, wait. We have to go to the same website. So can I send you a link in here? Oh, yeah, I can. Yes, I can.
I think you can, yeah. These are just pictures of regular animals doing silly things. I want silliest animals, silliest species.
I just texted you the...
You texted?
Yeah.
I didn't get it yet.
Really?
No. There is some... like definitely look up the POTO, POTOO.
POTOO?
Yeah.
The POTO.
It's a weird looking bird.
See, I think that's a cool looking bird. Wait a minute, which is which?
What?
Well, I see one with black eyes and one with yellow eyes.
I see both. I wonder if they're the same.
Yeah, it's the same. See, I think that's a cool looking bird.
Yeah, I think it looks like a cartoon, but that's like the people think the bald eagle is more majestic than that.
Yeah, this looks terrifying. I mean, it's not. Oh, and then nocturnal. means they are the most active during the nighttime.
All right, I didn't get your link.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn it.
What else?
It's still, for whatever reason, it's still sending.
Man, they just don't want us to connect.
That's bullshit. Hold on.
I'm looking at like a weird bat-like thing.
That's bullshit. Why is this doing this to me?
Let's see.
Okay, you know what? Maybe I can cancel it.
I love these moments in Zoom calls where it's just we're just trying to load.
I mean, I don't understand why this particular text is deciding not to go. Let me try one more again.
Oh my gosh, I found another. Okay, the blobfish is a known ugly creature. That could definitely be one. I'm sending you it in this chat on Zoom. But
okay, now you should have got that text though.
Okay, and then there's the eye, which is very strange looking. I feel like we haven't given enough credit to these weird looking animals. Like, why does everybody want a dog or a cat? Obviously, I don't think we should have these things as pets, but like.
Yeah, well, see, I mean, I have a strict mammals only policy.
I don't think we should have anything as pets that we breed for entertainment. I think it should all be rescue. And then once we're done rescuing, we just leave them alone.
Did you already say blobfish?
Yeah, and then you have the eye on your list too.
What about
it looks cute. It's like a little dobby.
Wait, you talking about this like this mole rat? No, that's a naked mole rat.
No, it's called an eye.
I don't see it.
On your list, it is below.
Oh, I see it. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like
it looks like a little evil dobby.
Like a methamphetamine rat.
But a lot of these like ugly dogs or whatever get to be like really famous and popular on like Instagram and stuff.
Oh my God! What about this star-nosed mole? That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen, probably.
You think so? I think the blobfish is pretty ugly.
Oh damn! What about this? What is it? Proboscis monkey? How do you say that?
Where is it?
Proboscis. It's right above the.
Is it on the link I sent you or the one?
Tychical.
We can't even say that.
The link you sent me. I don't have no link from you.
Oh, I put it in the Zoom chat. There's like one that's really cute, the Irrawaddy dolphin. That one's just cute.
Trying to do Zoom chat. I don't have a Zoom chat.
It's at the bottom, but it's okay. Oh, if you're on your phone, it might not work. But it's okay. I'll send it to you later. I think we have to wrap up anyways. It's been really fun talking to you.
Of course.
I'm glad we got into like I think everything today.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it again in this next year that we'll be stuck on lockdown.
Yeah. What are your predictions for lockdown? You and I were very early on, like in the first month. You and I were like, oh, we're probably going to be in here for a long time, and we felt like we couldn't tell anyone else about it because everybody else is freaking out.
2 of my predictions came true. One, that it was here way before they said anything.
Yeah. And
2, that the rest of the world, when we come out of this, we're no longer going to be the world leader.
I think that depends on how much money we can still pour into the military, because the rich people still want to do that, and I think that's
because our economy is never going to recover.
You don't think it's ever going to recover?
Not to the point where we're the dominant superpower in the world. No.
Well, I think the thing that makes us dominant is the military, and I think they're like rich people are going to preserve that at all costs. They're going to pour money into that before they like let us live.
Yeah, but also the thing that makes us dominant is that everyone uses the dollar. Everyone measures. America's the measuring stick.
I guess
everyone takes our lead on everything, and we just gave it up for this. Like we're not even organizing anything with the rest of the world at all.
I literally think the only reason we have power is because of our guns, basically, like because of our military. I think that's, and I think.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, even our military couldn't handle the whole world.
No, it can't. But it's like the strongest military or whatever.
Like the idea of other countries organizing against America or something was unthinkable a year ago.
You think that's thinkable now? You think people would want to do that?
No, I think people will be willing to do that, whereas they wouldn't have.
Oh, because like we fucked up so bad.
Yeah, because we're no longer the myth of American exceptionalism is being exposed right now.
Yeah.
Right, and think about the fact that there's 2 billion. There's over 2 billion people in China, right?
No, it's still.
Or is it a billion?
It's 1 point something.
So there's over 1 billion people in China.
1.393.
Okay, right. So that's more than triple the size of America. There's like 300-some million people in America.
Yeah.
And we had a 3-month head start, and now we've surpassed them in cases, even though we have a third of their population.
I mean, it's the same logic as like we spend so much on healthcare that is like terrible. It's like, yeah, it's incompetency at the highest levels. So yeah, I fully understand that, but it's like, I don't think that they would want to invade us or anything. I don't think that that's like a close threat.
No, I don't think people are just going to invade us, but I think people are going to start siding against us. It's not going to be war, right when it's all over, but people are going to start siding against us, and depending on who our president is, it might be war.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because like you said, don't forget, they spend all that money on the military to protect their wealth. The money is what matters. The money is what matters the most.
Yeah, that's why I think that our status is going to be less gambled, just because it happens to be tied to the military and wealth. That's why I'm like less worried about it, because I'm like, oh, if rich people care about this thing, then it's going to be better protected.
Yo, who is this third person?
That's Paul. He's our audio engineer
word.
Comedy Pop-Up. Okay. He's the one who's recording our thing, and he's gonna edit and stuff. But
okay.
Anyways, it's the end of the podcast. Where can we find you? Also, I like that we ended on a dark note, because you and I always do, because we're not afraid of being dark. Like everybody else that I talk to is always like, "Oh no, I'm scared," and you and me are like, "This is just the way it is." Like,
yeah, we're all gonna die. I'm just gonna have fun in between now and then.
Yeah, we'll like FaceTime each other as it's happening or whatever.
In the world.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, on that note, where can we find you?
I'm BS Comedian on Instagram and Twitter. That's it.
Nice. Do you have anything coming up that you're putting out online or anything, or?
Nope.
What? Nope. I knew that was like a dangerous question to ask, but whatever.
Nope. I'm chilling.
I am Pallavi Ganalan, PALLAVIGUNALAN. That's my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook, my TikTok, and my website. I also am working on that ventilator project. If you go to respira.works/donate, you can donate to it. It's a low-cost ventilator for developing countries. It's a nonprofit. None of us are getting paid to engineer this. We were just trying to buy the parts and put it together. So go there and donate, respira.works/donate. Fizza and Zara are not here. You can find Zara at really Zara, ZAHRA on everything, and Fizza at Fizza Dasani, FIZAADOSANI. And then we are Facial Recognition Comedy. Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook and our Patreon. And then Twitter, we're Facial Rec Comedy. We, I think, have a show coming up on the 15th. It's going to be an online show, so look out. I think it's May 15th at 7 p.m. And we are going to do it online in coordination with another group. And we will put all the details out on all of our social media platforms and our website, which is also facialrecognitioncomedy.com. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And we're done.